Welcome to the Dowden Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today we are going to talk about money and how much control it has not over us as people, but also our society. But before we get started, you can find video of this episode strictly on YouTube, but the audio everywhere else. Now, before we talk about money and how it can take control, let's just talk about the history a little, just so you guys know the background. So, paper money dates all the way back to the 1690s, having it represent bills of credit, or IOUs, which basically states that you are acknowledgeable of an existing debt. But it wasn't until 1861 when the new currency was introduced to the United States so it could help finance the Civil War. And through that, their values fluctuated with the fortunes made throughout that time. But in 1913, the Federal Reserve Act was created, which then made a national banking system that could keep up with changing financial needs of the country. And in 1996, a series of improvements were made to make the US dollar more counterfeit proof. And those are the dollars that we all know and spend today. So now that you have a little history about how and why money came about, let's now talk about why it takes control and how it can be a problem. You see, most of us spend our whole life chasing money and numbers just so we can be happy. But what we don't realize is that if we get it, then what? Yes, it does help. Maybe you can retire your parents or have your dream house. But what it doesn't do is make you happy. Because when you have money, you change. You're either going to change for the good or the bad, but you are going to change because money brings problems. You see, life and society really just speak for me. When you go online, you see all these people with all this nice jewelry and nice cars and houses. But what do you do when the cameras are off? Or what do you think they do when they go home? They can't just go out because maybe they're famous and always get recognized, or maybe they came from the ground up and either have people who envy them or they had to cut people off for better success. But either way, it's lonely and it's not what people think. Because I can tell you I'm your friend. I can tell you I'm going to be there for you, but not everybody's going to put truth behind that. And right when they see a chance to get where you're at or a little bit of success, they're going to take it. So, money is the drive for not most, but all people because we've built a society around it. And it's at a point that you can't physically live without money. And that's another major problem. It's a problem that we give so much money to other countries and invest in different things when we don't even take care of our own people. And it's not like the US doesn't have the money because according to this article and many more, they say that the Bureau of Engraving and Printing produces 38 million notes a day, which is a face value of approximately $541 million. So we definitely have enough money to get people off the streets, start more drug programs, increase pay grade of not only major corporations, but also small ones. Because the more the companies make, the more the people get paid. And that is what we need to do. But the government would never do that because the government need the people for profit. And this is something that we all need to start seeing and start speaking up because we are always getting suppressed. And it's not only people individually, but also small businesses because the government doesn't have control. People wonder why their small businesses aren't getting feedback or the views when they put money in and run ads online. And it's all because it's suppressed, it's all because it's controlled and the things are pick and choose online. The government wants people to work 9 to 5 jobs and get paid minimum wage because it's the bare minimum for them, but it's something we have to do because we have to survive. But if we all asked for more money or we all stood our ground or we all created our own businesses, there would be no control but stability. And that's what makes the change. If you say enough is enough and you want to make real money, then go and create your own business. It's not going to be right away, but branch away from the daily 9 to 5, get paid 7 an hour BS, and go pay yourself and your employees. And if you're there and you have money, then help the people who don't, because you can only buy and spend so much. And once you pass, it's not going to mean anything. But if you take the time to change a life and help them and build a small business, then that's when you leave an impact. And that is what sticks. So, with that said, today's quote is by Bradley Vincent. He once said, "Money is a tool. Used properly, it makes something beautiful. Used wrong, it makes a mess." I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to leave a like and follow down below. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And this is the Dowden Podcast.